Yo, what up? All right, welcome guys to the week of May 4th through May 8th. This is Mr. Paisley. These are our learning activities for the week. Similar to last week, this is going to be for drama as well as English 2. If you have me for drama and English 2, which a few of you do, you only need to do this once, but please make sure you turn this in to both the English 2 Google Classroom and the Drama Google Classroom. You could just make a copy and submit to both, so I have both. I know that you completed both assignments. Now that it is the week of May 4th, these activities are graded. So this is not extra credit. These are graded as regular grades, so please complete them. Before I continue with the instructions, I just want to go over how to take attendance, how to check in for your student portal with attendance. I'm sure some of you already know how to do this because I believe other teachers have posted this, but I just want to go over this quickly so everyone can understand how to do this. So, if you take a look at this screen here, each day, Monday through Friday, students are required to go log in through their student portal, go to their Infinite Campus, and it looks like this page here on the screen. What you're going to do is you're going to have to log into your Infinite Campus and check your daily tasks under today. All right, you're going to see this screen. Click on the first class in assignments due today. A box will open with the attendance for that day. It'll look like this. Okay. Click on Start Assessment. A box will open with the attendance for that day. It looks like this screen. Click to be counted as present. It will turn blue. Once you click Submit, you will see a green highlighted response that says your answer was correct. You are done for this class. Okay. Looks like this. Don't forget to go back to today and follow the steps for all of your classes. You have to do that on A Day for your A Day classes, B Day classes, and this will give you credit for each class for the day. Now, I'm checking my attendance. Last week, this actually started. It was kind of a practice week, and this week it counts officially, but I've been checking my classes, and about 50% maybe we're up to for the students who are doing this. So if you're not doing this, you need to make sure you get with the other kids because half the people are doing it, and I'm sure mostly everyone's going to be doing it this week. So please make sure you go. You're checking in, you're logging into your Infinite Campus, you're clicking present for your attendance for each of your classes for each of those days so you can get credit. You do get a point for this. All right, so that's the attendance. It's very important. To get back to my learning activities for the week, here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be piggybacking off of something we did last week. Last week, you were supposed to read a short story called The Pedestrian by Ray Bradbury. You're supposed to do some vocabulary, do some literary terms, answer some questions, do a 5-paragraph essay. So if you did not do that, you might want to go back and go through that so you can kind of understand what we're doing this week. If you did it, you're good to go. What you're going to need to do is you're probably going to need to reread the story this week just to do these assignments. So one last reminder too, there's going to be 4 assignments with this as I'm going to go through. So please make sure that you turn in all 4 of these assignments on one Google Doc. Okay, the Google Doc looks like this. All right, it's going to be attached in Google Classroom. Assignment 1, okay, is going to be here. Assignment number 2, assignment number 3, okay, assignment number 4. It's all going to be on this doc. You're going to submit this doc when you're finished by the end of the week. Please make sure when you're submitting your work, I'm attaching this to the Google Classroom in a Word document. Some students have been saying when they're opening the Word document, they can't write on it. I understand that. What you need to do is when you open the Word document that's attached, you need to go to the top and you need to click on, it's either going to be 3 little dots at the top or it's going to say open as a Google Doc. You click on the dots and it gives you the option to open the document as a Google document. You have to do that. That way you can write on it. You write in the Google Doc, you finish your assignment, and then you share it or you submit it. I'm not sure how it looks from the student end, but make sure you submit that Google Doc to me. There's been students who have been turning in work, and they're just giving me back the same Word attachment that's blank. So if you give me back a blank document, obviously you can't get credit for that. So make sure you're opening it as a Google Doc, filling it out completely, and make sure you're done before you submit, and then submit it back, and then I'll give you the credit for it. And yes, it does count as a grade this week. Okay, so this work for this week is going to be due Friday, this Friday, which is May 8th at midnight. That's when it's going to be due. That's been the pattern for the last couple of weeks, so make sure you complete this. So what we're going to be doing this week, you're going to need to reread this short story by Ray Bradbury called The Pedestrian, which we read last week. You are also going to be reading some newspaper articles along with this. The newspaper articles debate the current coronavirus lockdown measures being used by state governments. You are going to read the articles and analyze the thesis and arguments and explain whether you agree or disagree with the author. You will be comparing and contrasting the articles to The Pedestrian and completing an essay and constructed response. To recap from last week, The Pedestrian is a story about a future society that relies solely on technology to survive. The story is particularly important given today's situation with coronavirus and how our country and the world are turning to more and more digital experiences and authoritarian measures to keep people safe, which in some situations infringe on people's rights and freedoms. Okay, so you're going to need to reread The Pedestrian. I have a link that I had here last week. You can click on this. It gives you a good overview or at least an introduction of what The Pedestrian's about. If you click on that, it looks like this. Okay, we talked about this last week. It kind of shows you what the background of The Pedestrian is and how the government is, in a way, controlling the citizens using technology, and how a citizen wants to leave his house and simply go for a walk and is stopped by police. And the police car that stops him actually isn't even driven by a human. It's just all computers. All right. You can reread the story here. I have a link that gives you text to read, and then I also have a YouTube video that gives you an audio to the story, so you can read the story and listen to the audio as you go along. So you're going to need to have that as the background. So assignment number 1, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to read and analyze a newspaper commentary. So the article you're going to read is titled, "In Some Places, Easter Isn't Being Celebrated, It's Being Fined." If you click on the link, okay, the article pops up in a magazine called the National Review. This is an article about, people on Easter Sunday were going to church and they got fined for being outside. I don't want to get into the whole thing, but you're going to read that article. And what you're going to do on your document is you're simply going to read the article. You're going to identify. You're going to identify the thesis. You're going to identify the author's purpose. You're going to come up with 3 pieces of evidence, identify 3 pieces of evidence the writer gives to support the thesis, and then you're going to tell whether you agree or disagree with the writer, why or why not. That's part 1. Assignment number 2, you're going to compare the newspaper article to The Pedestrian. So this is going to be a comparison contrast. You're going to need to read The Pedestrian, like I said. You're going to compare the story to the article. In some places, Easter isn't being celebrated, it's being fined. And then you're going to answer the constructed response on the Google Doc, which is right here. Okay. The question is, it says, compare The Pedestrian by Ray Bradbury with the article, "In Some Places, Easter Isn't Being Celebrated, It's Being Fined." In what ways is Ray Bradbury's fear of the future coming true in today's world? You're going to answer this using the tag or the race strategy. Make sure you restate the question, answer it, give examples, explain your examples. That'll be in about a paragraph. That's a constructed response. Okay, assignment number 3. This is a pro-con newspaper article on the continued lockdown. So you're going to read 2 articles. First article you're going to read is, the article is, "We Can Protect the Most Vulnerable and Reopen the Economy." Okay, you're going to read that article. It gives you one perspective on reopening the economy. It's a difficult article, but you guys can handle it, so you're going to read it. Okay? After you read that article, you're going to go to assignment number 3. You're going to, again, answer the questions. What is the thesis of the article? What was the author's purpose for writing the article? Identify 3 pieces of evidence the writer gives in the article to support his thesis. Do you agree with the writer, why or why not? Okay. Next, you are going to read the second article. The one was a pro, the other's a con. The next article is, "Admit it, you are willing to let people die to end the shutdown." Okay, you're going to click here to get the article. Okay, this is another perspective on the shutdown. You're going to read it, okay, like as much the same thing you did with the other article. You are going to analyze article number 2. You're going to analyze the thesis. What was the author's purpose? Identify 3 pieces of evidence the writer gives to support their thesis. Do you agree? Why or why not? Okay. And then finally, what you're going to do is you're going to go to assignment number 4. And this is where you're going to take everything. It's kind of a scaffolding. You're going to put it all together. And you're going to do a 5-paragraph essay for the final assignment. In this section, you will answer the following question in a 5-paragraph essay. At what speed should we reopen our country? Faster or slower? Why? Use the above articles as evidence to support your arguments. Okay, so you're going to go back to the other doc. I have a spot for this for you. You're going to just answer it right here in assignment 4. This is going to be a 5-paragraph essay, so you have plenty of room. You're going to write it into the document. Again, please answer all 4 of these assignments in the Google document attached and submit through Google Classroom by Friday, not the 1st. So I'm going to make a quick thing. The 8th, Friday the 8th at midnight. Okay? So that's going to be due. Please submit it. And one final review. I just want to go over this again from last time. Some of this is, well, it's not really new, but it's a reinforcement. But in a way, we're doing it in a new way. So let's just quickly go through. Let's quickly go through this. All right. And then you'll be set. So what's a thesis statement? We talked about this from the beginning of the year. Thesis statement is the writer's main point or argument. A thesis statement has 2 parts. The topic, the subject of the statement, the comment, the viewpoint of the author. Example, the government should not interfere with freedom of religion. This is a thesis statement because it has a topic and a comment. The topic is the freedom of religion. The comment is the government should not interfere. It's the viewpoint. So remember, thesis statements are not just the main idea because they also have to involve the viewpoint, the main argument. So you're going to be identifying the thesis statements in these articles. You're not just telling me what the article is about. We know it's about the lockdown, but you want to say, is the author agreeing with the lockdown or disagreeing with it, or how are they giving their perspective on the lockdown? Okay, so that's a thesis statement. What is supporting evidence? Because you need to identify supporting evidence in these articles. Supporting evidence, information used to reinforce an argument. All people have an opinion. Evidence is what makes one opinion stronger than another. There are 4 types of evidence, 4 basic types: facts, statistics, quotes, and expert opinions. You're going to be identifying these in each of the articles and trying to analyze how they support the author's thesis. And then a review of author's purpose. The acronym PIE, to persuade, inform, entertain. We talked about this last week, but you're going to be able to see what was Ray Bradbury's purpose and what is the purpose of these articles that these authors are writing, these newspaper articles. Why are they writing the articles? All right, so make sure you complete all of this. Turn it in on the Google Doc, and it is due by Friday at midnight.